Hello and Happy New Year, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to our talk show, Downright Capable. My name is Marla Murasko. I'm with our co-host, Brian Herndon. I just wanted to first of all say hello to all our replay viewers. If you are watching this on the replay, please know that you can still comment, and please, I encourage you to share the show with others. We have a really exciting show for you today, and I am going to let my co-host Brian introduce our guest with you. But I do want to say one more thing. Please make sure you stay with us until the end of the show because we are doing a giveaway. So Brian, take it away. Introduce our viewers to our exciting guest today.
All right. Thank you, Marla. I am so excited to have Dr. Julie Causton on our show today. Julie is the founder and the CEO of Inclusive Schooling. She's a former professor in the Inclusive and Special Education program at the Department of Teaching and Leadership at Syracuse University. She has spent over 20 years studying best practices for inclusive education. And as a former elementary, middle, and high school special education teacher, she knows exactly how inclusion leads to better outcomes for students. She's also an educational consultant and works with administrators, teachers, paraprofessionals, and families across the country to help promote and improve inclusive practices. She's the author of several books, one of my favorite right here, that we're going to give away later. And she's published several articles in over 30 educational research and practitioner journals. Welcome to Downright Capable, Julie.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Marla. So happy to be here.
Well, thank you for joining us. So tell us a little bit more. I gave quite a bit of information there, but tell us a little bit more about yourself, your connection to the disability community, and a little bit about your work.
Sure, thanks. Yeah, you did. You did a nice overview of the work that I've done recently. So I'll just kind of start up to kind of now. Now what I do is I work with school districts all over the country, in Canada and other places too, really helping them understand how to create inclusive schools and from the classroom level to the larger service level. So I do equity audits for school districts frequently. So I go in and I look closely at how do their services look, and then where can they improve and become more inclusive, and then probably most importantly, how to do that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And that's so important. I'm glad you're doing that work. It's needed, as we all know.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump right into the questions. I think the first question we have is, how can parents help change the mindset of school administration so that when they look at a child's service delivery grid, their answer isn't always hire a para? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so a lot of folks, it's kind of an old-fashioned way to think about inclusion is let's hire an adult and Velcro that adult to the child and call it services. And then we'll just say, like, we're doing inclusion, right? As you well know, there are many different things that have to go into place to really create a really, truly inclusive environment. Mm-hmm. So I think it's kind of the old-fashioned Band-Aid approach to inclusion, which is like, here's an adult, go on in, good luck, kind of a thing.
Yep.
So you asked a hard question. How do people affect the hearts of administrators? So for me, this is the work that I do every single day. As a parent, I'm going to take it from a parent perspective. It's bringing in the heart set, the mindset, and being very clear with where you're headed for your child. And then being as kind and open as possible. So it's also keeping that relationship going with folks so that they want to listen to you and want to work with you. Yeah. That's a really tricky piece. It's kind of the art of it all, is how do I stay in the conversation and still kind of bump against maybe a school district that doesn't have the same philosophy that you have. That is the most challenging thing to do. And I would say we do it really carefully. I've written an article called Achieving Inclusion. It's just downloadable. If you Google Achieving Inclusion and my name, that has it's just basically the how-to of how to create inclusive schooling for your child. But it starts with being really clear on your mindset and then continuing to work with administration to see that they can create that same vision for your child.
Right.
I want to reiterate that parents are a co-equal member of the team. Even though
Yeah, I was gonna say that's I have a son with disabilities. I have a son with Down syndrome, and Marla does too. And that is something we really try to encourage parents to realize, is that they are co-equal members of that team. Right. But I think sometimes, I know I've got a lot of education meetings sometimes, and I feel like I'm not an equal player on